Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're
listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Shout out to the fam. Much love to the fam. This one called Saints Focus, Friday Focus, Saints Friday Focus, Trade Talk, Drew Brees Speaks, Week 7 Injury Report, and a little bit more. So much love to you guys. Appreciate y'all for being in the live on this one, man, as we get going in the broadcast. Big ups to all of the mighty Who Dats, the great Saint Tank. Big ups to you, Black Major, Bastion, Clint. Shout out to you, Steel Bill, Ronnie. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. Antoinette, shout out to the Queen. Much love to Young City 9. Bev, what's poppin', Bev? Shout out to you. Good to see y'all in the stream for this one, man. This is week number 7. Of course, I don't have to be or tell you guys or basically remind you of your record. Should I? I don't think I need to remind you. What's up, Terrence? Shout out to you, man. Big Villy, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here, man. Hey, man, listen, y'all, I don't think I need to remind the mighty Who Dat Nation, the great Saint Tank about their record, their standings. We're trying to get out of the hole, right? Where our team stands, and all you can do is put your feet in the ground, stand firm, and just give it your all. If any other questions need to be had about what this do and all this other stuff, listen, they done heard it all. Sunshine Anderson, they done heard it all before. You know, it's time for all of the other stuff. You got to throw caution to the wind and just go out there and give everything. Just throw it all. Lay out every tackle. Just play your butt off every play. That's all you can do. Just out effort the team. If all you have to throw at them is effort, then throw it all at them. Because at this stage of where it is right now, that's all we could really do. Is play without prohibition, without restriction. Just throw it all at them, man, and I guarantee you're going to come out with a dub. I promise you that much. All right, big ups, fam. Appreciate you. Abraham, what's up, Abraham? That's right, OG. OG. Be keeping count of the time, man. That's right, OG, man. A little early, my brother. That's right, man. OG always right, man, and always in the support, man. Much love, brother. OG, thank you, man, for all that you do, my brother. Thank y'all. All right. Yes. Listen, fam, we're going to get to going on some of this stuff right here. I know this one here, the Saints Focus Friday broadcast, will kind of get into the injury report that's currently on screen. We'll also kind of go into the trade rumors circulating around with the team. Alvin, we heard what he said. You don't need to play that Chris Olave trades. And when your record indicates this, you are going to be a team subjected to trade rumors. And because teams are calling, You know, you have teams that are not doing so good that's trying to salvage their season, and they feel like if they had an injury at a key position, or they're just trying to get a player and just try to keep hope alive for their season. Case in point, the San Francisco 49ers were rumored to be contacting the Cincinnati Bengals about Trey Hendrickson. With Bosa out, they were trying to get Trey Hendrickson over there. Of course, the Bengals rebuffed them, but they call. And depending on who you are, they might listen. Now, if it's, and this is nothing different, you know, from what most we hear, but Loomis did admit to if there's an offer he'll listen to. Say, for instance, if somebody offer a first-round draft pick for Chris Olave, I think the Saints will give him that. You know, I think they would give him. I think they, you know, me personally, I like Chris Olave's game a lot. But, you know, you looking at going into the future, you traded to get this other wideout from the Patriots. They believed in that guy so much that guy can't even help them. They gave up draft picks to get the wide receiver from the Patriots and bring him in here. At some point, he'll have to play. You got Devon Valley here that they gave up trade picks to get. You get the other guy from the Pats for next year. And you do have Chris on a 2-year agreement. You have this year and an option for next year that goes up to $15 million. Are the Saints going to be paying them that much? Rashid Shaheed's deal is done this year, and Rashid's speed and what he brings to the table, not saying is more than Chris, because Chris is more accomplished than Rashid Shaheed, I think. I mean, he's just done a little bit more. But outside of that, Rashid is accomplished. I mean, he's accomplished in his own right. He has a Pro Bowl as a return man, and he's a valiant threat. And he's not just a deep threat as a wide receiver. He can do – he's very close to doing everything Chris Olave can do. So the Saints will have to make a decision on what to do. And now y'all already know I always was a full supporter of Chris Olave. I still remember the fantastic catches that he made against the Green Bay Packers, against the – what was that? Wasn't that against the Falcons when he tapped the ball to himself and the guy didn't even know where the ball was? I still remember all those fantastic catches in this struggle year. But sometimes, you know, teams have to take a look. So if they're offering heavy compensation for him, I think if they offer a first or hell, or even a second, you know, the Saints might pull up stakes on them and use that second round pick. Now, of course, they'll probably botch it. Well, I'm not going to say that, you know. I mean, I think because I actually like this draft, the current draft that we had. I know we didn't have much of a draft since 2017's draft, but this draft this year, I actually like this draft. I think this draft that we had this year, the Saints picked all their players. I think a lot of these players are going to hit for the Saints. Just time will tell. All right, Michael, shout out to you, bro. He says the rain and wind make it tough on Sunday. Indeed, bro. We'll see what the weather is like there. I think it's rumored to have, I don't think it have, I'm going to have to look again and check on there. But if there's something going on there, they're going to have to play through it, man. Like I said, and throw everything at them and get the win. Thank you, bro.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Much love, man. Appreciate the super chat to the fam. All right, big ups to the rest of y'all as well. Brother Tyrell, how you doing, sir? Says it would make the weekend if the Saints win and troll the Bears and DA on Twitter telling them to keep chopping wood. It would be an awesome win for the Saints, a much needed win. We really need this. And like I said, not to overthink it, but just we have to throw everything out, all of the whatever this is, and then just go out there and play football. You're a 1-5 team. Just let it all go and just go out there and out effort the hell out the Bears and just take the game away from them. What's up, Akban? Says that Q, we have to get younger and faster. Must have indeed, bro, and it will happen. Cam Jordan retires. Demario Davis retires. There's Pete Werner is another guy. Does he fit what the Saints are doing with that defense? We have Danny Stutzman there. The Saints could utilize and have maybe Jalen Ford to be there. I think maybe in DA's defense from the last 4 years, Pete Werner makes sense. But yeah, I can't have Pete Werner missing tackles and not being athletic down the field. It just slows the defense down. I think once you have to kind of move some of these guys out, I think you have some of these guys. And like I said, they're going to get younger really fast. I think they're averaging right now at about 26 years old as a team right now. But once DeMario Davis and Cam goes, we know Tyron retired at the start of the season. Taysom Hill will be gone. So a lot of the older players will be off the team next year, and the Saints by proxy will obviously get younger, and Stutzman and a lot of youthful energy, Stutzman and other guys on the defense. Jonas Sanker, even though he got tore up last game, he's still a rookie. Very happy. Jordan Howden had some good production. Alante Taylor, I think, still has a lot to give. McKinstry still is developing as a cornerback. Quincy Riley's going to be good for us. So we have a lot of good youngsters that just need time to develop and move forward. Vernon Brockton, I think he'll be a good defensive lineman for you after he coming off that injury. So we have Brian Bresee I think Brian Bresee is going to be good too. He's going to get better. He just needs to get more consistent. Carl Granderson is the bell of the ball, right? He's the top guy defensively, the most consistent defender we have, and just love what he brings to the table. On the offensive side, it's just going to be young. It's going to be a young team with pieces in place. We have to kind of, well, I ain't gonna say young team. We'll have a young quarterback at the helm. Alvin will still be here. Kendre Miller. It's just some stuff, man, we have to be able to do. But more importantly, not just so much the youth stuff. It's more, I want more of the intelligence. Like, just, it's football. It's not supposed to be, terribly complicated to play a children's game. We have to be able to just be sensible. We have to be more intelligent to what we're doing here. But that's just some of it. What's up, Poppy? Shout out to your fam. Appreciate Poppy 504. Chantel, what's up, Queen? Appreciate you all. Shout out to all the wonderful queens out there and the kings, man. Shout out to y'all as well. Captain Discernment, what's up, brother? Says Who Dat. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you, Captain Discernment. I like that. All right. Yes. Chantel says, Q, it's going to be nasty weather in Chicago on Sunday. I know I've seen a report on the I think I didn't talk about the weather. I was too dialed in to the keys of victory in the preview stream that we did on Wednesday, I think it was. So if y'all guys didn't see that, check it out. We did the keys of victory. I think I did like 25 keys to victory for the Saints against the Chicago Bears. I guess I didn't check the weather because to me, it really don't matter if it's snowing or raining bad or whatever it is. I don't care what it is. It could be raining cats and dogs. Saints got to come up with a win. It's going to be a nasty game, but nonetheless, we have to come up with a win because it ain't. Hey, listen, the Saints with perfect weather still stink. So it don't matter. You give them a sunshiny day and they still go out there and lay a 0. You got a weather protected dome and they still can't do nothing. So, I mean, maybe the getting out in the nasty weather will kind of wake something up in them, some savagery in these guys and make them do something, right? So we'll see what's going on. All right. Chantel says it's going to be 50 miles per hour where they're at. Okay. And lots of rain. Charlie, shout out to you, man. What's up, Charlie dog? Big ups. All right, family. Anyway, y'all hit the like button as we get going. If you listen via Twitter, please give me a retweet, please. Retweet, please. Shout out to official Perry G. Shout out to you, my brother. I see you over there on YG and the fam listening over there. Much love. All right. Anyway, let's get right into it, man, and hit up the story. We'll start off with the injury report. A final injury report for the Black and Gold on Friday, man. 6 Saints players listed on this injury report for the Week 7 matchup against the Chi-Town Bears. You see AK-41, good news there. Went from limited with that ankle to fully practiced. That is great news. Isaac Yiadom also went DNP to limited to full. He is a game time decision. And, of course, we know Quincy Riley is there, so he might just very well just be a backup or might be just inactive for the game, speaking of Yiadom. Chris Olave was limited with a hip issue. He would fully practice for Thursday and Friday. He's good to go. Alante Taylor, the same way, had a knee issue. He was fully practiced. John Ridgway also was fully practiced. And he still currently has to return to practice. He's currently on the reserve injury list. The Saints have not activated him. But he was a healthy scratch, I believe, last week for the Black and Gold. And we can most certainly use John Ridgway's run stuffing ability to kind of throwing him in there. I think Bullard has been doing a good job as well. Nate Shepard is just, Nate Shepard. Divine Gacho was also DNP, but it was NIR. He was just getting rest, and they fully practiced him today. And then, of course, you go to the Bear side of things. Offensive lineman Jonah Jackson fully practiced. He had an ankle situation. Grady Jarrett, former Falcon, is questionable with a knee issue. DJ Moore fully practiced from that hip groin issue. Carlos Santos, the kicker, he's out with a right thigh issue. Noah Sewell had a concussion. He's listed as out, even though he fully practiced. Austin Booker, the defensive lineman, is questionable, even though he fully practiced. Travis Homer, the running back, fully practiced. He's good to go. The linebacker there, you see there, and DeAndre Swift, the starting running back, had a groin issue. He was limited and listed as questionable. A lot flows through DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore. They have some competent weapons. As we talked about in the preview and the breakdown for this matchup, is that the Saints have to be very mindful of some of these guys. DJ Moore, Romeo Iduzzi, DeAndre Swift, who's really good at running the ball inside, outside of speed, got really solid speed, can catch the ball out the backfield. And also Cole Kmet, who's the big tight end that is also a part of the offense, even though his numbers are not all that. He is who Caleb Williams will throw to if he has issues. And of course, Williams he can take off on you and run if he feels like he needs to. So this is also something we have to pay attention to. But like I said, I mentioned that in the injury, actually the preview stream that we did on Wednesday. Okay, let's move to the trade talk, fam, to talk about it. That the rumors circulating around our team, and we kind of hit on this earlier and made mention of, is the fact that the Saints and Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara addressed the trade rumors. AK-41 made the comment about the not wanting to go anywhere, and I don't blame Alvin, right? And basically, and I don't know what it's worth, but you kind of got like a guarantee for making Loomis. Like a couple of these players are I believe are safe. I don't think Demario Davis gets traded. I don't think Cam Jordan gets traded. I think Mickey Loomis will not trade these guys. I don't think he'll trade them at all. I think Alvin Kamara is good. I don't think Alvin Kamara goes anywhere. Chris Olave, to me, I think even though I think they'll hold the stance, but if somebody offered the Saints a first-round draft pick or a second-round pick for Chris Olave, they will have, especially a first-round pick, I think they'll take him off. He would trade him if they offer him the first. I don't think he gets that, or nobody's going to give Chris that because of the concussion history. And really, he's on the cusp of trying to land that contract. His numbers are up. His yardage is not up, but his catches is. I think Chris has like 39 catches. Right now, a lot of east-west stuff, not too much going north to south, which if it was, then those numbers would be a lot higher. So they really have to work harder to get that. He has like 39 catches with 1 touchdown. So that's, that's kind of indicative of what the Saints offenses look like. And he could have had a couple of touchdowns had he dropped 2 that came to mind. The one last week, the guy grabbed on his arm. And the reason why people get Chris Olave on that catch is because his difficulty in making catches have held his floor up very high. Like now people, when you see the kind of passes, see, I still haven't forgot that. I still remember all the fantastic catches that Chris Olave has done since he's been with the New Orleans Saints. I remember all of them. So when he drops the one like he did last week or the one in week number 2, those type people get upset because he's like, man, you are a fantastic pass catcher. It's no that one there. If you have to reach behind you, I've seen you make that catch a bunch of times. The one where the guy grabbed your arm, I've seen the guy getting at you like that. You got to be able to catch that because that's what they're expecting. These other people say, oh, well, he grabbed his arm. Did you know this guy is an excellent pass catcher in the past? He makes those grabs. Now, people will say, Q, the concussions. You can't disparage or totally dismiss the injury, the concussion stuff as like it had an impact on him. I definitely think it had some impact. To what degree, I don't know. But he hasn't quite looked the same, and that could be a number of things. Matter of fact, it is a number of things that's tied to not only him dropping these passes, but also just no rhythm. My philosophy is very simple. If the quarterback throws you the ball and the ball touches your hands, you need to catch that ball. you should catch that ball. And that is the thought process that I have, and they agree about that. If they're honest, they'll tell you that man right sitting up there. You're right. If that ball touches my hand, then we can catch it. These other people who saying that, nah, it's all this kind of stuff. These people ain't football players. They never played the game. They don't know what they're talking about. The players will tell you, and they will own drop balls because they know if it touches your hands or touches you, and most of them wearing them sticky gloves anyway, that's supposed to aid in the catch, right? The gloves has a sticky substance on it that help them catch the ball. You still dropping it. So, I mean, what more help you need? So, like I said, the veterans have to step up. All right, let's jump right into it, man, and look at some of this. Saints Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave addressed the trade rumors. Shout out to Cat Terrell from ESPN. Saints running back AK-41 said he has gotten used to being the subject of trade rumors during his career, but his stance still hasn't changed. Kamara said Thursday he still wants to stay in New Orleans. Kamara was asked about the NFL report that said that general manager Mickey Loomis, approached him after he received interest from other teams. The report said Loomis asked Kamara if there was anywhere he would like to go. Let me ask you something here, Alvin. Is there any place that you like to go? Could you imagine Mickey Loomis just walking up to you randomly? He don't talk to you no other time. Just he don't talk to you no other. And this is reports. Cat Terrell said it. Other people said it. You know, when she said it, a couple years ago when this happened, when he says, well, you addressed the players 2 years ago at the end of the season. You addressed the players. You usually don't talk to the players. This is the general manager, for God's sakes. You don't talk to the players. Well, how do you know the temperature of the team if you're not talking to the players? What else do you have to do? What else? What are you here for? If it's not for the betterment and the success of the team, because obviously the man is non-accountable. He can't keep himself accountable. He can't even stay to a schedule of these WWL interviews he's supposed to do on Tuesday and Wednesday when people are asking. He's supposed to even doing these old softball interviews with Mike Hoss. He disappears from those, no accountability whatsoever, but nobody presses him. Lauscher or Gale, they don't press him to stay accountable. If Mickey Loomis is like that, why should he? If the bosses are that lax, why wouldn't he be? But could you imagine him walking up to you and asking you, hold on now, goddammit. Oh, hold on, Alvin, before you go over there to that vending machine, is there any place that you want to go? And Alvin looking around said, well, I'm about to leave, Mickey. You need me to go run an errand for me? Oh, no. That's not what I mean. Hold on. I mean, do you want to be traded anywhere? Could you imagine that? And Alvin like, what? What are you, huh? You know, I mean, could you just say, I can't peruse over that because I know how Mickey Loomis get down. You know, he just, is there any place that you want to go? Yeah. I was about to take my ass over here. I was going to go up here to Baja Fresh or something and go get me a burrito. Oh, that's not what that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, do you want to be traded? No, I don't want to be traded. What are you talking about? Why would you even ask me that? Well, you know, I don't talk to anybody, and I just come up with shit out of my imagination. So I figured, you might know you want to be traded. No. But this is the type of dude that we got going on. Could you imagine that? Yeah, he says, I don't know where that came from. You know, that came from Mickey Loomis because he batshit crazy. You know, you ain't asked Derek Carr that shit when he was here. Hey, Derek, you want to be traded? Hold on now, Derek. Let me stop you right there before you get in that car. See, I ain't made it funny. Do you want to be traded? You ain't asked Carr that shit. You know, go ask Pete Werner that. The guy he missing all these damn tackles. Go ask him. Go ask Cesar Ruiz that. Hey, hold on now. Caesar Salad. I mean Caesar. You want to be traded? Anywhere you want to be traded to? Go ask Cesar Ruiz that. That's once you're going to do that. Don't ask somebody that can do something for the team. He said, Elvin says, yeah, I don't know where that came from. We talked about the report and we were like looking at each other like the little Spider-Man meme. Did you say something? Did I say something? I don't know where that came from, but I think I've been vocal enough that I don't want to go anywhere. And he has said that many times. Just shows you the guy is out of touch is what I'm alluding to. And he says, and I said it countless times. He's not lying. I back him up on that. Y'all know that I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows that except for Mickey Loomis. Because Mickey Loomis, this is a case good example about a supposed general manager, air quotes, that has a eye on his team. He don't know nothing about the team. If he's asking Alvin Kamara, is it any place for him to go? How dare you? You know, and I would have turned around if I'm Elvin and says, any place you need to go? You need to go, Mickey? It's just amazing. They asked the man any place he wanted to go. How about where you want to go? Let's send your ass to hell. How about that? Get you on up out of here. Run you up out of this position. Sitting up, he don't even know the team. The fan base knows that. At the end of the day, it's business, so I don't go upstairs, and I don't have an office upstairs. I got an office in Charlotte at NASCAR, but I don't got an office upstairs, so I don't really sit in those meetings. I don't really know what happens up there. Well, no, I can tell you what's happening up there. Nothing's happening up there. There is no intelligence. Mickey Loomis is taking the general manager position. He's boiled it down where he got former general managers working for him in lesser capacities. Got several general manager assistants, and none of them had intel to go and ask Alvin Kamara, does he wants to be traded? Everybody know Alvin wants to be a Saint for life. He said it I don't know how many times. I've covered it on the show. It's not even news, but that just shows you how out of touch that Loomis cat is. What would happen if the team did approach him about a trade? I just got to keep my head down, said Alvin. I don't know if I was a GM, I guess I would go to the player and be like, hey, we're trading you, just so you know. So if Mickey come downstairs and says that, then I'm going to drink a pina colada somewhere, which means he probably not going to play again. That he'll call it a day. Hell, Alvin Kamara is the greatest running back the Saints ever had. And he's going to go down. Is he is Alvin a Hall of Famer? I mean, that's a good question, man. I want to say yes. I know he's definitely in the Saints Hall of Fame. He's the greatest Saints running back Saints ever had. Hell, he was better than some of the wide receivers we had. His catch stats rival some of the solid wide receivers we had. You know, he is a phenomenal talent. Like he's going. Kamara has a similar refrain last summer when he was seeking a new contract from the team, and they said he would like to be a Saint through the end of his career. Kamara has been with the Saints since they selected him in the third round of 2017's draft, a season in which he earned NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year honors. I want to be a Saint for a long time, for as long as my career goes, says Kamara at that time. That's all I'm looking for, really. Kamara said at the time. Kamara signed an extension midway through last season that will keep him in New Orleans through next year. And $3 million of his base salary is guaranteed for the 2026 season. He turns 30 in July. Alvin is not the problem. Kamara said he doesn't know what teams he's been linked to or who needs a running back, but he's used to the speculation. I mean, it's like that for years. It's just like what it is. I'm just focused on what I'm doing. I really don't think about it much. Saints wide receiver Chris Olave, who's also been a part of potential trade speculation, acknowledged that he knew about the chatter and chalked it up to being a natural part of the conversation that surrounds the team in his 1-5 record. He's absolutely right. When you're 1-5, the vultures are gonna be circling around the team looking for what they can scavenge. This is the part of the business, man. Like Olave said, it's been like that all year in the offseason, even right now. I ain't really been on social media, but I know it's cooking right now that we're 1-5. So there's always rumors. The internet trying to always create some buzz. Now you giving them buzz, brother. The Saints are giving them buzz. They don't have to create anything. You giving them the buzz. You're giving them the buzz by this play, this terrible play. But I had a conversation with the people in the building, so I feel very confident. So he talked to Loomis. So he said he feel pretty confident about him being here. Olave did not elaborate on who he spoke with. Only one person he going to talk to, the same idiot who went and asked Kamara, hey, hold on here for a second, Alvin. Or anywhere you want to go? That man thinking he about to pay for a trip to the island or something. And he talking about, I mean trade. Elvis like, what? He bust that Russell Westbrook. He was like, he did that.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know, bro. I know. That's what he hit that button on his ass like that. Crazy talk. Man, is insane. Kamara has been dealing with ankle injury for the past few weeks, did not practice Wednesday. Of course, he's fully healthy, went from limited to full. So he started all 6 games, carried the ball 83 times for 314 yards and has 1 touchdown. Olave was limited in practice Wednesday with a hip injury. He went full, by the way. 39 catches, 342 yards, and a single touchdown this season. So this is some of the rumors that circulate. I just found that so very interesting. And then just something to present to the Who Dat Nation to show you how detached from reality this cat is and how he doesn't talk to these players. You don't talk to the players at all, and then all of a sudden you're going to go down there and ask the man about any place you want to go there, buddy. Oh, I know. We're seeing you. Oh, I know. I'll pack you up and ship you, buddy. Oh, I know. We don't want to hear all that, bro. You need to get on up out of here your damn self. It's too bad we can't find a trade partner for him. Anyway, the Chris Olave landing spots, where could a star wide receiver could end up if the Saints deal him before the 2025 deadline? This is just speculative. From CBS Sports, they covered the article too and mentioned some of the things that we covered in this previous article, as you can see. Chris Olave's statistics here. And the wideout is under team control through 2026 after the Saints picked this 50-year option up. The fact that a team buying the 25-year-old would have him beyond 2025 will only boost his value. That said, Olave would likely seek an extension this upcoming offseason rather than enter a lame duck season in 2026. If the Saints isn't keen on the idea of locking down Olave at this stage of their rebuild, it makes sense to see where he'd fetch on the trade market this deadline. What team could be interested in Chris Olave? Well, he has this. Which team be interested? Let's highlight a handful of logical landing spots. The Buffalo Bills, the team that beat us recently. The Bills entered week 7 bye on a surprising 2-game losing streak after averaging over 33 points per game over the opening month. The losing streak has seen the offense stretch to literally screech to a halt, posting just 17 points. A key cause of the offense going silent has been the continued lack of a true threat, a deep threat wide receiver position. Secure topped the position group in week 5, just 45 yards receiving, while Palmer led the group in week 6 with 60, with the majority coming on a single 45-yard reception. Coleman is the only wideout in a roster to top 100 yards in a single game. However, that came in week 1, and he recorded 45 or fewer yards in every game. Olave will go in immediately and become the number 1 target for Josh Allen in the passing game and give him a weapon he hasn't seen the likes of since Stephon Diggs. With Buffalo firmly within the Super Bowl window, they should prioritize adding a boost to the offense. Will the Bills offer a first-round draft pick? The Bills, if they did offer a first-round draft pick, but Chris Olave is going to be at the end of the first round, because the Bills more than likely are in contention, like the article said, for a Super Bowl. So if they do offer a first-round or a second-round pick, it'll be toward the back end of the draft based on where they will be positioned, because this team is going to be a playoff team in many people's estimation. Next team on the list, the New England Patriots, another team that beat the Saints recently. Stephon Diggs, Keyshawn Butte, Mac Hollins, Demario Douglas, who really did it to the Saints. New England surprisingly has thrust itself into playoff contention, thanks in large part to the emergence of Drake May in his second season. While Diggs has been a welcome addition to the receiver room, the position group could still use more explosion. The Patriots saw firsthand how impactful Olave can be after he put up a 98 yards on 6 catches against them in week 6. While the receiver would certainly help the club in 25, its long-term availability could be the most attractive to the Patriots at just 25 years old. Olave could grow with May, and New England likely wouldn't blink at signing him to an extension this offseason. With a young quarterback still on his rookie deal, it makes sense for 2025 and beyond. New England? How about Pittsburgh? DK Metcalf, Roman Wilson, Kelvin Austin III, Scott Miller, and so on and so forth. Pittsburgh is a playoff contention as this Aaron Rodgers experiment has largely gotten off to a roaring success. To make it count, however, the Steelers could be wise to continue searching the receiver market to improve their offense. Currently, Metcalf is the lone receiver on the Steelers to have confidence in. Though through 6 games, he's had over 400 yards. The next highest producing receiver is Kelvin Austin III with 139. Pittsburgh desperately needs a second option for Rodgers outside of Metcalf, and Olave would fit the bill splendidly. So that's another one. The Giants, who we did beat, thinking of buyers at the trade deadline, the Giants wouldn't be among the first teams that come to mind. However, the pursuit of Olave makes plenty of sense at this stage. Currently, the club has a gaping hole at the receiver position because of Malik Neighbors being out for the season with an ACL tear. Olave could help cushion that blow in the rest of 2025. More importantly, however, he'd help continue the development of standout rookie quarterback Jackson Dart. And with Olave under team control for next season, he could also form a lethal combo with Neighbors once he returns, suddenly giving New York one of the best 1-2 punches at receiver in the league. And then finally, the 49ers. Juwan Jennings, Ricky Parasol, Kendrick Bourne. Despite all the injuries the Niners have endured this season, they still are above 500 and firmly in the mix for the NFC West crown. While the likes of Kendrick Bourne have held down the ship with Jennings and Parasol hurt, they could use another healthy body. Even those two return in capacity. With the 49ers can get healthy under center with Brock Purdy on the men, among the tight end George Kittle, the addition of Olave can help quickly turn the ailing offense into a lethal unit down the stretch. So they got some teams with holes at the wide receiver position that Chris Olave would actually look pretty decent at. But the reality is, nonetheless, the article talked a lot of good stuff. It did not mention Chris's concussion issues, which maybe a desperate team would offer a higher pick for his services. The Giants, the 49ers, and the such. But according to Chris, he was obviously told that that he's good, that he's all right, that he'll be good from the position from being with the Saints. So we shall see, and we shall see again what the Saints do with that. All right, and of course, the final story, man, I got for you guys. Shout out to WWL Radio. They did an interview with Drew Brees, and Brees talked about the Saints' offensive line continuity is crucial as offense builds under Kellen Moore. And like I've been critical of the Saints offensive line, I think the play has been very topsy-turvy, to be, to put it mildly. It has been inconsistent and topsy-turvy, guys. We just got Penning back for a couple of games. Cesar Ruiz was out. We had Torrey Simpkins in there. And he had a decent game on his return game, and then the tape never lies. There's still too much funk at the guard position. Even McCoy is inconsistent, missing blocks, not finishing the blocks. The Saints offensive line is not a dominating unit. And to dominate, most people know, and we've had good offensive lines from the past. And Willie Roaf, matter of fact, talked about this quite recently. They had him on a pregame show, and Willie Roaf talked about, dominating, how his mindset to dominate was to go out and bowl people over. You got to have a mindset of domination, and you look at the tape, the Saints are not really, that's why it looks so rough at times for our running backs to move the ball. They're not clearing furniture, to put it lightly. They're not clearing out the furniture and having a really clear holes for these running backs to run through. That's why Kendre Miller has been effective, because he's able to, he has the gift to make the first guy miss, and then he breaks tackles. You're going to need a running back like that because it's not clean. The Saints running, it don't matter who we play. It's not clean, except for the Bills, who are one of the worst. We have the Bears coming in. I think they're 31st in the NFL. They're pretty bad in stopping the run too. But the Saints offensive line really need to gain some type of synergy and chemistry, and they really need to adapt that dominating mindset to go out there and push these people over, and dominate and be smart about it. But it's too much stuff that's going wrong along the line. Guys at times don't know don't look like they know where they're going. You know, they don't know who they're blocking. You see offensive linemen get to the second level, and the defenders, all 3 or 4 defenders, are tackling your running back behind you. How did you do that? You just phased through their body and got to it. It's a cavalcade of a cavalcade of comedy watching the Saints offensive line play. And Drew Brees spiked on it. He said, listen, the offensive is crucial. If you don't have a decent offensive line to protect the quarterback and open up lanes for your running backs to run, then you're not going to have no success. You can't have a bullshit garbage line in the NFL and expect to win any games. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work that day. It doesn't work like that. In NFL, it's just what it is. You have to dominate the line of scrimmage. If you're not dominating the line of scrimmage, you're being dominated by the other team. It's either one or the other. It's either dominate them or they dominate you. In a lot of these games, you see the Saints offensive linemen literally get stood up. They get stood up. There is no push. They're not moving or resituating the offensive line like they like to talk about. Move the line of scrimmage. You don't see a lot of that. And that's a big part of why the offense is having these type of issues, because if the line is not doing that, not moving furniture, not good, doing a solid job consistently of keeping people off your quarterback, he's going to get a little antsy. You know, his eyes are going to drop. That's just human nature. He's going to have to fight his instincts and understand and be real, even though, you know, you talking to the press and you tell me, man, I got love for my lineman, all this kind of stuff. But in his head, you got to, you know, the body language, you can say whatever you're going to say with your mouth, but that body language tells all. If you, throwing off your back feet, pulling the ball down too soon, because you're like, oh, here we go again from this dude over here, number 51. Oh, shit, here goes 7. Here go 51 again. Damn, number 70 in his head. It's back. It's between number 70 and number 51. Oh, damn. But he in his head. He tippy tapping around, and you know, because he's oh yeah, we offensive line, they're all good. He supposed to say that, but what the body language say? But Drew talks about it because he know exactly what the problem is. A lot of it tied to a line. It's a lot of stuff going on, but usually you're gonna pay attention to the line of scrimmage, whether it's the defense or the offense. You're either dominating there or you being dominated. It's either one or the other. You pick your role. You either dominate or be dominated. And the Saints in many of these games are being dominated. Y'all put one in the chat if you can hear Bobby able to talk to Drew Brees. Here we go.
We got to make plays, and this is the number one thing right here is that we're behind the 8 ball. We're not good enough to have to play catch up. Now, we had our first lead in the first quarter this season. Now we're winning 3-0, but go 5 plays, 59 yards. Groovy makes a 35-yard field goal. It would have been a lot nicer if you'd have been up, 7-0 instead of 3-0. I said this at halftime. The defense has now allowed a touchdown by the opposing team in its first 2 possessions in 4 consecutive games. So that's
all right. Let me keep
points.
going.
Boom. Yeah. So I'll say we're going to go to Chicago with the Bears are going to on the first 2 possessions.
Hold on, fam.
The ball. I don't know what he was doing.
Hold on. Let me get it set up for y'all, fam. But yeah, this is one of the things, man, what we got to deal with here. Hold on, that wasn't right. It wasn't set up correctly. All right. Anyway, let me kind of get into the article here. The Saints have a lot of positives to correct the 1-5 start. The positive is the largely healthy roster, a 5-man starting offensive line group that is set to play back-to-back games without any of the fill-ins in the first time all season. The group is developing with some credibility and will be massively important to the team's success this year, in which legendary Saints Drew Brees broke down this week on WWL Radio. Drew said it is crucial because that is the position in football that really requires that. He said just because of the amount of communication that happens and the adjustments that happen, and not only that, but how you work together in pass protection, right? That group consists of, from left, Kelvin, Trevor, McCoy, Cesar, and Tolly. It's a high investment position for the Saints with 4 first-round selections and one high second rounder in McCoy. Ruiz and Penning were both dealing with ankle injuries, suffering in week 4, but have been have been removed from the injury report this week. Fuaga also missed the game earlier this season due to a knee issue. In total, the Saints are tied 13 in terms of total sacks allowed, which is 11th, though they are 27 in total pressures allowed, 88, indicating that a lot of the praise for avoiding sacks also lies with Spencer Rattler. And this is absolutely the truth, because Spencer Rattler is the main reason why the sacks are not higher, because he's getting out of the pocket. He's vacating the pocket, and he's using his legs to turn and make plays. He's not sitting in the pocket. You know, we've seen a number of times the pocket gets squeezed and he gets forced out of the pocket, and it's just one of these things that it has to get better, man. I mean, seriously, we have to be able to turn this thing around, man, to be honest with you, because to be honest with you, we are dealing with right now. This is what it is. I mean, this season is already, it's 1-5, but 1-6. Could you imagine? You know, 1-6, and the Bears are not juggernauts. We should be able to be able to take care of the Bears. No disrespect to the Bears, but come on, it's the Bears. We should be able to do something with the Bears. The Bears, you know, they had a hard-fought game against the Washington Commanders. They were able to beat the Commanders, but at the end of the day, there's still room for the Saints to try to put something together. They gotta throw it all to the wind. They got to beat the Bears on a rainy field in New Orleans. That's just what it comes down to. So I'm trying to get this interview team put together for y'all, man, and see where it is I had it. But I don't know, some kind of way I've ended up losing the interview. But anyway, let me finish the talking point on it with what's going on with Drew Brees. He says that group in total, the Saints, and I mentioned that if you just sat there and watch the front five against the D-line, they're running all kind of games. They're having to pass off twists and stunts, and that's just consistent communication. That takes a ton of time on task, Drew said. The Saints hope that the time on task helps them this week against the Bears defense that ranked 29th, with pressure generated on 27.7% of the opponent dropbacks. The Saints are 1-5, Bears 3-2 face off there. That's a combination of everything gets compressed in the red zone, right? He also said that tight windows, if you got to be on, he says that in the red zone, right, tight windows, and you got to be on point, no negative plays. A 2 or 3 yard run in the red zone is a great play, but you also need targets, like you need matchups. I can remember some of our best years, right? It was, man, Sproles with a matchup nightmare in the red zone. Jimmy was a nightmare in the red zone. Colston was a matchup nightmare in the red zone. Like those big body guys that just had certain traits, man, you just knew, man, there's a place I can throw the ball where he can get it. There's some scheme as well in attacking that way that some of these defenses are going to try to play in the red zone, and then just your ability to run the ball. Like 2 yards is good, then find your matchups and make sure your scheme is on point. They asked, how do you attack Dennis Allen's defense? Drew says it's kind of like playing a divisional opponent. You know, yes, there is a high level of familiarity, but you're just finding little nuances, and obviously the personnel is different. So we've got to study their personnel and really understand who we're going up against. But yeah, I mean, I think just from the coordinator perspective, we know Dennis' scheme, right? We know the stuff that is kind of his comfort zone, right? We know his go-tos. He also knows that what we up to. So there's going to be wrinkles. You know that at the same time, that's Kellen Moore's offense against his defense, right? And so those, I'm not sure how often those have gone up against each other, right? So the Saints got to execute. He mentioned Jimmy Graham and several other players, right, in this thing. It's Jimmy Graham, Marcus Colston, Darren Sproles. Those guys were dogs. No, and I'm not disparaging our current staff, but you don't have a Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham was a former basketball player who had a will to win. Look at what he's doing now. The guy was out, not too long ago, boating through near the Arctic. Who does that? The guy learned how to become a pilot. That guy has a ridiculous amount of ambition to accomplish things, right? That Jimmy Graham is the best tight end the Saints ever had. This guy we got here is just taking money. I doubt he has a will to win. His temperament is way too soft in terms of that. He got up to a point because the question was asked, how good could this guy be? You're paying him $10 million. You give him a 3-year deal that $10 million a year was $31 million. This guy, he dropped touchdown passes. He misses blocks. He don't block that well. He has still dealing with concentration drops. Hell, he's still false starting in his own building. I don't see anything changed about his game. And if he was better at his job, the Saints would have at least have one more win than they have now. I mean, so no. Sorry about that, y'all. Hello, internet breakdown. But then we back. So what does he do? I mean, I don't see much improvement from Juwan Johnson. I'm sorry, I don't. Just keeping it real. I don't see he disappears. He shrinks in the red zone. Like I said, his blocking is not all. His blocking, he sucks blocking. He doesn't finish anybody off. It's just too soft. All that's just too soft. The guy just plays way too soft. The Saints have to find a dog at the tight end position. You know, somebody that's going to do the job. Somebody that has some wiggle to his game. You know, this guy is just. I'm sorry. I just don't see greatness in him. I see he got to a point where he got paid, but he done leveled out. I think he done leveled out. I don't think you'll see Juwan Johnson any better than what you get right now. Because usually he has several opportunities to make plays, and he collecting $10 million a year. I mean, there were times in the moment when they paying you $10 million a year, you're getting paid that kind of money because you're supposed to make extremely difficult plays because they're paying you that kind of money. Nobody gonna pay no man 10 at the tight end position, and the man is just going to be, and the guy's going to be not dropping passes, letting guys punch the ball out with one hand. You got two arms on the ball. Well, you know, Jimmy, let me ask you this. Does Jimmy Graham make those catches that he dropped? Does Jimmy Graham make that catch? You damn right Jimmy Graham make that catch in that first game. Does Jimmy Graham wasn't the greatest blocker in the world either, but he still did a decent, better job than what I see this other man doing. But I'm watching the game. I'm like, this guy's not. I think he done leveled out. What you see from 83 right now is the best you're gonna get. There is no next level. Because I was asking, do this guy got a next level? I mean, he obtained the bag, but he has a very important position, like many others. But he's the security blanket for a young quarterback. You know, the guy's a security blanket. We're not seeing $10 million worth of good game there. It's just not enough. You make a few catches here or there. The blocking is off. It's just not working, man. I don't see the attack dog mentality in these guys. It's not like I said, Sproles and all these guys, Drew. These guys were dogs. They had a competitive monster in them that wanted to win, that wanted to go out and take the game away. The Saints are milquetoast. A lot of these guys are milquetoast. And don't get mad at me, Saints, for telling you that, because I ain't talking to y'all, man. I'm talking to the players. Don't get mad because I'm just basically throwing back at you what I'm seeing on the field. That's why you're 1-5. Ain't no tough ass team gonna be 1-5, man. They're gonna fight like a dog to get the win. They ain't gonna lay down and talk about moral victories. Who does that? You don't hear champions sitting down and talk about moral victories. We got a moral victory. We played together and we're going to be all right. We just have to hang in there. We got the moral victory. We're not going to panic. We're going to be, nah, shut up. Ain't no wins. You ain't getting no points for no moral victories. You getting a paycheck. Now we'll give you points for moral victory. You get your goddamn paycheck back. How about that? We'll give you points then. Oh no. No, you ain't gonna do that shit. So this is Drew says, how do you attack a Dennis Allen defense? He said, we read this one, and he says he finished by saying, I'm not sure how often those game, and the reality is the Possum. We know what the Possum got doing. We know the Possum likes the blitz. His team's not really very good at stopping the run. They're 31st. The secondary, I believe, is like is better than the run stuffers, but they do a good job of taking the ball away from you. 8 turnovers, tied for first in the NFL. As long as you understand that and you don't give them the takeaway, you should be able to kind of do what you want to this defense. But the thing is, like I said, Drew Brees talked about, a chess match here. He mentioned the schemes and knowing what they're going to do. And he mentioned it in the prior thing. He talked about the combination of looks and schemes and red zones. And a lot of times, you ever heard the term scheme your people open? Y'all put one in the chat if y'all ever heard that. You just throw that in the chat. Anybody ever heard the term? Put one in the chat. One that up. That you ever heard the scheme your players open? I mean, where is that at? Like I said, I get pissed. I can't even watch a lot of the Saints tape because I watched the film. I watched the footage of the Saints, they tape, and I'm like, man, why are we even doing that? Why are we not taking advantage of the fact that they overloaded this side when we roll over, audible to this side? Just smart stuff, just being a smart team and just having a chess match game against the team. Because a lot of times those plays don't work is because you're running into the strength of the defense. You're not supposed to do that. I know that's obvious sounding, but I guess I got to say it out loud to the dumb team that's doing it. You're not supposed to run into the teeth, the strength of their defense. You're supposed to expose the weaknesses of that's what scheming is all about. What you think scouting reports is for? We scout the teams to find the weak players we can extort, that we can, exposed. How about that? That we can take advantage of. How about that? That's what the individual scouting reports is about. Which one of these players on here is the weak link that we need to go after? You know what they do for the Chicago Bears? They look at Penn and say, this guy right here, look at the tape. This guy here, number 70, man, that guy right there, look at his stance. He come out the stance. Look how where his arms is, where his knees is. Look where his feet is. When he comes out the stance, he's too damn high in this stance, and guys just walk him back. There was a play I showed y'all on Patreon this past week where literally they pushed that guy over like a top heavy dresser. You ever had one of them old school top heavy dressers? They come up a little bit like that. And you see what I'm saying? You got to make sure you don't bump against it too much because it might come toward your ass. One of them type of things. Looked like the dude literally went right up under him and pushed him over, and he fell on the top of his back, not on the back or the middle of his back. He fell. He pushed him over like a top heavy dresser. He fell on the top of his back. How'd that work? Because he up too high. And this is what the guy consistently do. That's why I was like, man, it's enough of that. When this season's over with, we're going to let him go ahead on, have a nice life, man. We're going to find somebody else and start again. You just not getting it. You are up too high, and the Saints gave him every opportunity. Right tackle, left guard. And the guy's technique is just not hitting. And they can attack him. Another guy they can attack is number 51. They know 51 is confused. He also has bad and inconsistent technique. Where guys can swim him. I mean, simple moves. I've seen people swim that guy so bad that they swim 51 so bad. It was like going through the turnstile of an old school grocery store. You go right through that little thing there, and you swim through it, and the thing just flip over, and it stays right there. You just walk into the store. That's what he is. Panna, it's just them guards, man. If you ain't got a top heavy dresser on the left side and a turnstile on the right side, I don't know what you got. It's just them guys, and the defense it ain't no use sitting up here pretending that there's something that they aren't. I'm not in delusion or denial about the abilities of these guards that we have currently starting. The technique is bad on both of them. They're both inconsistent. You can weigh them on a scale and tell me which one stank the most. But to me, defenses are going to go at these guys. And also, you look at when these defensive line will practice principles like using stunts, because that involves testing the communication of your offensive line. They're going to do that stunt action. They're also going to shift right around the snap to create confusion to figure out who I got to block. And you know the Saints struggle with these communication issues. We're in week number 7. Can he finally put it together? Everybody got to know who they're supposed to be blocking, fam. We can't be oblivious about the non-ability of some of these players. You know, they're like the guard thing. And McCoy hasn't looked, 78 hadn't looked that good either. I seen McCoy got beat. I seen McCoy missed the block. I'm like, boy, what's wrong with McCoy? Is he hurt again? I was like, I got to think, is he hurt? Is he hurt? What's wrong with him? Why he looked at that tape there, man? That wasn't a good looking tape. But I'm just saying, defensively speaking, we got to understand what's going on. And Spencer Rattler ain't in denial. That's why he be scrambling his ass around in there. He'll say, yeah, we trusting these guys because he's supposed to, but at the end of the day, look at his body language. He's scrambling his ass out around, trying to get out of Dodge and every damn thing. So like I said, man, ain't no more being in denial about a 1-5 ass team, man. Especially where the funk and the stank lie on the team. It is definitely in the center of the Saints offense and defensive lines. This can't go anymore. Shepard needs to be benched, and we need to see about better options for either one of these guys, man. I don't want either one of them on the team next year. Penning's got a 1-year deal. After this, he's done. Cesar Ruiz still have multiple years remaining on his contract. We need to be saying about trading him. We need to get that guy out of here, man. That guy is awful, man. All right, thoughts on the trade deadline. Never discount leadership in the locker room, you know, and also just the morale. What morale, Drew? Discount the leadership is discount. What's the brand Walmart? Great value? Huh? When you go to the store, what's the cheapest brand of item you can buy at the grocery store when you go to Walmart? It's Great Value. You see what I'm saying? Never discount leadership. No, we never discount leadership, Drew, but you have discount leadership. You got Great Value in there. None of them guys is stepping up and playing to the length of their contract that they paying these guys. They're not performing like that. They're not game changing anything. And truth be told, a lot of the leaders, the young guys, are outplaying these old dudes that's supposed to be guiding them. They're totally ineffective. Like we talked about McCoy looking all rusty and dusty recently, and DeMario missing tackles, Pete Werner missing tackles, Olave dropping the football, Juwan Johnson dropping the football, missing blocks. Some of these other veterans, Cesar and Penning, who's been in here for 4 years or whatever it is. These guys are veterans, not stepping up and doing what they're supposed to do and letting the team down. Not these young guys. So, yeah, we got discount leadership. Don't discount the leadership, Q. Yeah, we got discount leadership, great value ass leadership. At paying them at high dollar prices for great value leadership. But they'll give you a pep talk. They'll talk to you about holding firm. Nah, man, show me something, bro. Show the mighty Who Dat Nation and the great Saint think tank that you work, that you respect them for supporting you. Show them that you are not going to go out there and embarrass them against the Chicago Bears. Show them that you want to go out there and you serious about winning, and that you're just not cashing checks and stealing money. That's what you need to be focusing on. You can't whip these guys up. You got to motivate them and pay them at the same time. Listen, I'm going to give you all these millions, but listen, we got to have a pep talk here. Ain't millions enough for you to get up off your ass and catch a ball and block? Am I saying anything wrong? I mean, how many of you guys out there will go above and beyond? If you playing football, they paying you millions of dollars. You taking care of your family. You ain't going to step up and step out. You ain't going to go there early and leave late. Huh? I mean, it's a mindset. It's a mindset you have to have. And a lot of these guys simply don't have it. Anyway, like those guys that are just core pieces, that I think you want to keep around as long as you possibly can. No, we don't. We don't. Even if their roles diminish as far as how much they're playing or productivity or what have you, just because they're just that important a teammate and a leader. So I think you always have to weigh that when you're thinking about those decisions. No, you don't, Drew, because number one, the guys that you're talking about as leadership, these guys are not leading anybody nowhere unless it's to the edge of a volcano in which they're going into it. Just believe and just jump in the volcano. Follow me to greatness. You know, jump in the damn volcano with them, DeMario Davis and all these cats. If they're not performing in a way that's leading to success, there's no need for these guys to be here. I'm just being real. What's the purpose? What leadership are they providing if the team is 1-5? Hold your head. I can play a song by Tupac, keep your head up in the damn locker room, and that takes care of their damn motivation. They're not there to be just talking. They're getting paid because they're supposed to lead by example, and they're not leading by example. Dropping touchdown passes, having concentration drops, blowing blocks, not dominating, missing tackles and taking poorish angles and just playing dumb and stupid. That's not any leadership. I want that to poison Stutzman or Jonas Sanker or any of our guys. I like these young guys. I think they can have a future. We don't need old leadership that can't keep it on the level that we need it to be, which is success. Having old leadership here and they're not successful is a waste of time. It's a waste. They're only justified by success. If you're not having them, they got to go. Just keeping it real. This is what it is. They know that too. He said, and this is what Drew says. Look, I also recognize the fact that you truly build today's game through the draft. You know, you maximize what you can get out of those players for the first 4 to 5 years, and then hopefully you can keep more than half of them and they become your core players for a really long time and play for you. 8 to 12 years. But look, you're not going to be able to keep them all. All that's just the nature of the salary cap. But look, I think having that leadership in the locker room and amongst some of the position group is really, really vital. Only leadership, because there's bad leadership. We don't often delineate between the two, but bad leadership there is such a thing as bad leadership. When people automatically talk about leadership, there is good and bad leadership. Saints currently are under bad leadership. Start with Mickey Loomis down to not so much with Kellen, he just got here. But the veterans on our team are not showing up. And a great deal of what's going on while the team is 1-5 is due to these veterans not handling business. This is the point. A lot of people are thinking it's the young people. It's not the young people. It's the veterans. The veterans aren't doing what they're supposed to do. They're not leading correctly. And that's the honest truth. These guys are missing too many tackles, taking poorish angles. They're not dominating at the line of scrimmage. Chase Young got all that money. He missed how many games? 5 games? The guy signed $51 million contract, whatever it is, missed 5 games, came back and didn't do much of nothing. Had a few pressures, dumb pressures that forced the quarterback out. There was no containment. He was able to pick up yardage. So in the end, it's a lot of stuff going wrong right here. Like I said, when your team is 1-5, not one person on the team is not going to be looked at and said listen, you got to do better. When you're 1-5, everybody has a part in it. Everybody has a part in it. It's just ridiculous. But that was Drew right there. I was hoping to try to find the video of whatever the radio broadcast of it, but I wasn't able to, and I wasn't willing to stop the show and make you waste your valuable time trying to find it. All right. So anyway, fam, shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Y'all do me a service, hit that like button as we get going. All right. Big ups to you, 504 Cole. What's up, big? Shout out to my boy Low. Much love. Appreciate y'all for being in the stream. I don't know what's going on today with my I think we got bad weather coming. Something going on because it keep messing up. Y'all deal with me. I'm almost done. All right, Hemisphere says the Veli thing got me confused, bro. So why this man getting 5 snaps a game? I don't get it. A Veli Veli probably ain't ready. They can't find a way to get Veli involved in the offense, fam. They can't find a way. Veli got here late, but it's been 7 weeks, and they still haven't been able to get Veli consistently in the game. To me, Veli should be starting with Olave and Shaheed. He's the big guy. Regardless or not, he needs to stay out there on that field and block. And, you know, he needs to be out there with the starters. He needs to be out there consistently out there, not rolling them out in the package. If Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed's out there, he needs to be out there with them. He needs full reps to catch up. They got him late. You know, they could have done a better job in finding him and getting the wide receiver in there, but they waited so long saying that they didn't need no height and all that, and look what's happening. Boy, it's amazing how your own actions come back to bite you in your ass, huh? Hemisphere says, I think Kellen's still trying to figure it out. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping by the time this season over, we're going to see some positive progress with the team, and Kellen Moore needs to make his own way. Fam, listen. They just have to call smarter plays. It's really that simple. They got to call smarter plays. Like, you watch some of them plays the Saints run where they run into nothing. You know, it's like you have to be able to say, okay, we're not good at this play. We done practice this play. These guys don't know how to run this play. Let's find something. Or even go talk to them. What do you guys like to do so we can move this thing along? What do you just do something? But Nussmeier and Kellen Moore with these option draw plays, the delayed draw, and all this other kind of stuff. Needing to attack downfield. If Chris Olave dropped the ball, okay, he dropped the ball. We still throwing the thing. We're going to still attack. I'm not going to say, okay, I throw 4 times and, well, we tried 4 times and, you know, hey, we just got to get used to it. No. We got to keep throwing. That's like what Buffalo did. Buffalo just kept heaving at the Saints secondary. Something going to happen. Just throw that shit down there. Just throw it. You know, just throw it. Like, everybody got a part to play to get better. Like, on the first play of last game, what was the first play? Let me test y'all. What was the first play of last week's game? What was the first play? How could let me just quiz y'all. Y'all smart. Y'all a great Saint think tank. That's the smartest in the nation. What was the first play on last week's game? What was the first play? And tell me how could we have fixed the first play? Let's hear you chime in. Y'all put it in the chat and let me know what y'all thinking on that. What was the first play of last week's game, and how could we have improved on that play? Y'all let me know how that go. Put it in there. Let me see if y'all paying attention to it. All right. Anyway, Ronnie says that's the problem. He says that's the problem. Keep players too long. Case in point, holding on to Brees and not preparing life after him. Life would have been different for the Saints in many different cases, because Drew Brees was kept a contract length more. Well, I will say 3 years longer than what he was supposed to stay. But that's just a dumb general manager with no vision. Talking about he had a plan. He didn't have a plan. You know, the plan was you should have took Lamar Jackson instead of Davenport and had Lamar playing and training while Drew was the quarterback. And if Drew would have gotten hurt, Lamar would have been rolled out as your quarterback. Let me tell you how history would have changed. You would still have Sean Payton as your head coach. Hell, you might have had a Super Bowl by now, but it just goes to show you how decisions bad decisions will destroy your life. It will destroy you. Bad decision just goes to show you how bad decisions will literally tear you down. It will literally knock you out. All right, Ronnie says players not performing, start benching. Tim says, yes, sir, Tim. Tim got it. The underthrow. The first play of last week's game was a deep shot down the right side of the field to Chris Olave. Chris got beyond the cornerback and the safety and was going for a touchdown. The ball was underthrown. If that ball was put ahead of him, that's a touchdown. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what Spencer looks at and say, man, I got to put that ball out there better than that. And really, there's no excuse because it's the first play of the game. You don't have a week on. We're just starting the game. You put that ball out there and let them run in stride, that's a touchdown. That touchdown changes the outlook of the game. You win that game. That changes the complexion of the game. That's what you're looking at. We study and we looking at the film and how everybody can improve from the head coach on down. But a lot of the play calls are really suspect, man. You know, they have to be smarter with the play, like take advantage of what the defense. It's a chess match. You know, you have a certain amount of scripted plays at first, and then you go somewhere where you start living and you get into your live playbook. You know, you start reading the defense and you start taking what the defense giving you. And when they start tilting down, they're going to give you several options. I covered it on the film where you can get behind them and you can light them up on one-on-one matchups with your wide receivers. My whole emphasis is I got speed demons on my team, guys that are 4.3 gifted wide receivers. I got those guys out there. I'm going to put those guys on some verticals. I'm going to stretch the you-know-what out of that defense. And I'm going to put some of my power running in there. And if I have to spread you out with the speed so I can hit you with Taysom, hit you with Kendre Miller, Alvin could be one of those guys that's out there. It's split out as a wide receiver. We have to be able to, if we have to put all these playmakers on the film to bedazzle the hell out of the defense, we got to do it. Those guys need to be just down, just tired, stretching the safeties out because they're really not that good. A lot of the secondaries that we played this year, them guys was in the 20s, the late 20s. They we didn't test them guys enough is what we did. And if the goddamn guy dropped the ball, so hell, we gonna have to keep throwing it. We got to keep throwing it. If you drop it, we're gonna yank you or trade you. The reality is regardless or not, we cannot fail. We must keep pressing. We can't let the defense force us into a package that's favorable for them. We have to be stubborn in our approach. But it's a chess match. Like I said, there's no need for us to run on the heavy side of the field, so to speak. When they overload one side, I talked about this before. You see it on the film. Saints running into the stacked side. Why? Why are you running into? You see them stacked up there. Why are you doing? It's just the calling is unbelievable. Now, like, I can see why these people are not moving offensively. They're doing the dumbest shit that's benefiting the defense. Why are you doing that? It's like, I was like, what? Why would you do that there? And they repetitively do it. That's why it looks tough. And everybody running their offense and they look, oh, this is why everybody offense look bad because they're doing the right stuff. They doing the right shit. They're not running into your heavy side. They're audible to the opposite side. If they see the pressure or the blitz coming, they're audible and out to attack you. If you bring in a safety down to blitz my quarterback, he has vacated the section of the field he's supposed to be at, which I have a guy over there. That's Rashid Shaheed in a one-on-one matchup with your cornerback. I like my odds. If I throw that damn ball out there, I know Sheed's going to go get up under it or he going to draw pass interference. That's what I'm talking about. You got to go for it. You can't allow them to press you into an east and west bullshit team, and then junk up the routes where you're trying to go east to west in. No, we can't allow them to push us into that, man. We have to do better than that. All right, Sylvester says, Sir Miller Sneeze says they need to think smarter and not harder. Stop making dumb decisions on the field and make better calls dealing with coaches and stuff. Yeah, indeed, bro. Thank you. Yeah, it's a smart game. It's like it's all this stuff is catastrophically bad because it's not thinking involved here. Please, y'all look at the film. We do it on Patreon. I will show you. I'm like, fam, look at this. The last several weeks, I have been saying, fam, look at this. 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 And then you see guys. Fam, it's crazy. You see guys not knowing where they're supposed to be, guys missing blocks, guys getting late to where they're supposed to be blocking, right? Guys just literally getting beat. Not guys missing blocks, but guys just getting beat. Guys getting pushed over, guys getting swam around. It's just amazing. A tight end that's not blocking. Like you'll see a screenplay set up with the running back and they got a tight end, Morrow, that's out front of Alvin, and he has a cornerback that he blocks. If he blocks that guy, Alvin can turn and get north to south. What happened? He don't even block the cornerback. Some kind of way he maneuvered himself past the cornerback cut behind him and tackled Alvin. How'd that work? How'd that work? You see what I'm saying? It's an intelligence thing, and if you have to make the play, if you don't make the play, the next guy will. And then the Saints, they have to be smart about the personnel. If these guys are repetitively mistake makers, they're not prepared to play. They need to be pulled off the field. He has to be real about the film. He can't sit up here and look at the film and see Cesar Ruiz getting swimmed, moved, and pushed over Penning, and swim move Caesar. They just messing over these players, and we're gonna pretend like we don't see that. I mean, it becomes a joke at that point, hoping and wishing that these guys are not prepared to play, and they're not really that good. You made a mistake with Penning. Let's just face it. We made a mistake with Penning. We made a mistake with Ruiz. We made a mistake with these players. Deal with it and get these guys and get better players. Yeah, so says defense can't get off the field third and long. Yes, indeed, man. They can't get off the field because a lot of times we go on offense, we're not consistent enough. Offense goes out there and 3 and out, run off the field. Football is not supposed to be that difficult. If you watch the tape, it is a lot of dumb offensive play calling by Nussmeier and Kellen Moore. And he's like, what is going on out here? You calling the wrong plays, man. You calling the wrong plays. You don't run them over there in the loaded side of the field. You go to the opposite side. I thought you knew better than that. It ain't like the Saints don't have speed, but we don't take advantage of the speed. The offensive line is crickety. We can't get a consistent pass rush on the quarterback. I mean, we got guys who paying a lot of money, and then the schemes are crazy. Even from a defensive standpoint, we got a guy that repetitively and consistently keeps running the same personnel and the same scheme over and over again, even though it is giving NFL quarterbacks stats, big stats. These quarterbacks come into the game and have 6 or 7 straight completions on the Saints. Come on, tell me if I'm wrong. All of them start. Even Jackson Dart started the game like that with the Giants. They rattle off 7, 8, 9 straight completions. They get in a rhythm before the Saints even get close to them. How does that work? You don't get no pressure up front with the 4 and drop all of the linebackers, even the ones that's supposed to be spying into coverage, and leave a wide open interior aspect of the field. Well, a scrambling quarterback, which is pretty much the majority of everybody except for Sam Darnold we faced, would go and pick up 5, 10, 15 yards, slide, get up, go back to this and do it again. So, I mean, in the end, what's wrong with the Saints? Scheme is wrong with the Saints. The personnel, the personnel is confused in a lot of this, and they are confused because them coaches don't know what they're doing. You can look at the defensive play call, especially that offensive coordinator, that guy, that Fire Marshal Bill, look at some bitch. He don't know what he doing, man. That guy don't know what he doing, man. You can't justify that and call that an NFL offense, man. I've seen high school offenses run better than that bullshit that he running. Now, listen, I don't mean to be rough, but I'm just being honest about this in here. I'm just telling y'all the truth. These play calls are horrible. They're horrible. They're not smart play callings. They're not. All right. Anyway, Duke says exactly. We gave up 4th round. He's being used in offense. Let's face the fact. We missed on Penning. The way the Saints did Penning, they did him wrong. They didn't develop in the first round. They threw him in there, the deep side of the pool on the second year. He crashed and burned, and he was devastated. If he was a quarterback, he would have been done. He would have been like Ian Book. When in the Miami Dolphin game, the Saints said, you know what, they just pulled up stakes and got rid of him. Let the Eagles pilfer him off the practice squad. They were like, yeah, he about done. That's the same thing with Penning. Penning, his technique, he gets hurt, he comes back, and he's still blocking too high. He's too high blocking, and he's giving up his leverage, and guys are walking him into the face of the quarterback. Right back into the quarterback. It's not a good look. All right, thank you for that. Also, Duke, shout out. He says should have touchdown. Yeah, this is the thing. That's what when you look at tape. Sean says that's what irks me. All except 2 of our losses were 1 score, 1 possession. We could have played better. The thing is, that's what I was saying about a team that has guts and a will to dominate and win. Usually, when you have a 1-score game, the team that wants it more will win the game. A couple of these games were actually, the Buffalo Bills game was there for them. The last week's game, they were up by what, 2 points? They were up by 2 points and didn't score anymore after that. So, I mean, in the end, they are in position. But the thing is, it's an intelligence and a will to dominate. Regardless of what happens, we're going to go get that 2-3 yards for that first down. It's a will thing. You know, if I'm a goal line team or whatever, and I want to get in this red zone, I'm going to get in it. And you can't stop me. That should be the mentality of these people. It's a will thing. Just like everything in sports is a will thing. If you are watching a fight, and the fighter that he might not be as talented as the guy, but in a fight game, if the guy has a will to win and he refuses to lose, he gonna win the fight. He gonna be on some Buster Douglas type shit on Mike Tyson. Buster Douglas never fought that way, but he had a will to win that night because he dedicated that fight to his mother who had passed away before it. He was not going to lose. He was inspired to win regardless. That regardless of what happened, if the guy punched me and dropped me, I'm going to still get up and I'm going to win the fight. And the guy did drop him. Tyson dropped him. He got up and Buster Douglas. And they talking about the late count, all this kind of old stuff. But you got to remember, Buster got up off the mat after Tyson knocked him down and get up and beat Tyson in the ground and beat him and took his titles, which is one of the greatest underdog stories we ever seen. But the reality is this happens all the time and it's based on willpower. It's will dominated. It's a will dominated game. There's no such thing as a home or away field. The field is based on and determined by the dominating mindset of team. We can go to Chicago. It might be called Soldier Stadium, but that field could become Saints Field based on our mindset to want to dominate. Like the game is won before we even step in the building. We got this, man. We're going to dominate. You see what I'm saying? The game is won before you even step in the arena with these teams. A lot of these teams coming out smart. They know, hey, man, I don't care what's going to happen. We're going to win this damn game. I promise you that. And they play hard and take the game. That's not something we done seen happen with our team. For one time. You're right, Sean. Many different times, one score game is just not making it. They're just not making it. All right, shout out to Brent says Brother Gregory can chime in on this too. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
Stop, y'all. Keep talking. Huh? You keep talking, man. And you shut the up.
Aha! Aha!
Shout out to y'all, man. That's the reality, man. The Saints got to win the game. The key to it is will dominated, ain't it?
Aha! Aha!
All right. Saints Full Circle said the car offense. I know that, bro. I've seen offenses, and I was watching some high school football, some highlights, Friday night lights. Ed Daniels started the show down in New Orleans, man. I was watching it on television, and I was watching some of the offense from some of these schools, Warren Easton and what was it, St. Aug, and a bunch of them, Independence, just throwing the ball around, you running reverses, all kind of stuff. And I was like, damn, I seen a team 50 burger team on the highlight reel. It's crazy. All right. Shout out to Jack. He says, bro, by 2 points for what? It's just insane. It comes down to want to dominate, that I am not going to lose. I am a winner. I refuse to lose. We are going to win. I don't care what they say, or this is the mentality. They don't have that. They are comfortable with losing these games. They're not stepping up because the time some of these games they were actually winning the game or within a couple of points before the game got too far out and they ran out of time. It's just the will. I mean, the coach could try, but the players have to be able to take that. People saying Kellen Moore is too soft with his format. I don't expect Kellen Moore to be Sean Payton would get in your face. Sean Payton would, he was a tough task guy. That's how he did. But Kellen Moore don't have to be like that. He could be a guy that just say, okay, he can be smiling and showing them teeth, and then he go up in there and say, hey, Cesar, tell the assistant coach that Cesar Ruiz he's being benched for Torrey Sally Simpkins. Let them know we just signed a veteran offensive line. We're going to see if we can galvanate and see if we can get this offensive line rolling. It's his direction. You can't sit up here and use the excuse that, hey, man, we never been that. No, you're going to have to bring in a veteran assistant or a pair of eyes like Coach Payton had. Coach Payton, as old as Coach Payton been in the league, he always had a senior member or two on his staff. I remember Chaney was one of the guys he had here. He would always bring these old, retired college football offensive coordinators, defensive, some of them was head coaches, and he just hired them to be a set of eyes and just watching stuff at practice for him to catch. And they would go back and tell, hey, man, you need to watch out for this guy, that guy. And that's a part of the game that Kellen Moore needs to really learn. But the Nussmeier thing, Nussmeier's play calling sucks. You could see the players are not feeling that, man. They're not. And they could talk and say, well, we love him, all this kind of stuff, but the offense is not showing anything. It really not. They might not be vibing off his play calling, whatever it is. I think it's a ton of different things circulating around that they just don't know how to use their talent. I mean, how do you have Rashid Shaheed, arguably the fastest wide receiver in the NFL, in every play? He don't need to be running on no crossers and none of that. Every play he should be moved around in some sort of vertical. And I got to move him inside to test the guy. I got to move him outside. Whatever I got to do, I'm going to move him around, and I'm going to be looking to take a shot at him. He's nobody can guard that guy. And if they move into safety to cover, guess what? You got areas of the field open where if you shoot him that way, that corner's going to follow, that safety's going to go toward that direction, and you got an area to play with. We have to be able to utilize the speed of these speed demons that we have on the team so we can be able to create some offense, so we can move the ball. We have to score more than a touchdown a game. We can't be pity-patting with penalties and all this weirdness. They got to throw caution to the wind and take this game in the next, because the Buccaneers are coming up. I think after this one and all this kind of stuff, you start getting into your NFC South stuff. They got to stop playing around and handle business before it's too late. And we already 1-5, only 4 teams, I think, ever made the playoffs this way. And I'm like, playoffs? I'm just happy we win a game. I'm really on that Jim Moore shit about right now. Saints full circle, so I need Spencer in that pregame huddle to get the team hype and also hold them accountable. Stop being so nice, Spencer. You about to get benched if you don't get this win, dog. Stop being so nice, bro. You got to talk at these veterans, because these veterans are not leading anything, man. They don't want to lead. You're going to have to lead. Jack says, in all games we lost, we only had a total of like 5 minutes or less. Saints Full Circle Podcast says, Q, they say the ones that smile all the time be the craziest ones. Kellen might be, he might be a little cuckoo. Well, he'll be a lot cuckoo if he don't start really getting at getting this stuff straight here. Ronnie says Nussmeier, or it's Kellen Moore calling the plays. It's a combination of them, but Moore calls the plays. But Nussmeier and Kellen Moore are at fault for this weird play call. I keep saying, why are we doing this, that, and the third? I don't want to keep going over it, but it's just one of the things that we have to play. Intelligence, have to play intelligence and take advantage of what the defense gives. They're not going to always be read back with 2 high safeties. They're going to bring that safety down. They're going to shoot them at you. Dennis Allen going to blitz at you all the time. The job of the quarterback is to see the blitz, and that's something I've been on about Spencer Rattler about, is seeing the blitz, because I've seen too much tape of him looking at the guy coming up, and you got an area behind him where in which you got a guy circling there. You got to put that ball in that region. You got to go deep. If they blitzing, you got to put that ball up there and make them pay. You got to make them pay, because that safety was coming down to blitz him from that left side, and you had Rashid Shaheed on the left one-on-one matchup with that cornerback. I like my odds over there. There's not one cornerback in the NFL that can guard Rashid Shaheed when he running straight. I just throw it out there and let him run up under it. Just let go, make it practice ball again. Just get, yeah. You won't bring the safeties down. My job is you won't blitz me. I'm gonna make you pay for it. That's how it's supposed to go, especially if you see the blitz. You see them moving around, you're supposed to be able to know what to do in audible out, slide protections. That's what you got to do. And then when they come with the blitz, you make them pay. You make them pay. Then when they have to move all that stuff back there, you open up that running attack. So, I mean, like I said, man, we're going to see how it goes, man, when it comes a couple of days from now. But we need smarter play calling on both sides of the ball, man. We really do. More verticality for our offense to get downfield and consistently, because if you miss on 2 or 3 strikes, please keep throwing it. Keep attacking downfield. Something good is going to happen. Attack downfield. Attack. Tim says, nah, check it down. No, Tim, attack. Tim said, nah, check it down. You know, bro, attack. Ronnie says we need to establish the run and bring them deep. Yes, indeed. How you going to do that? You know, they took the Saints. They did the right thing. They did a right thing against who the hell we played last week? The Patriots. I'm sorry. It's becoming a mix. But they did a great. That first play, they flashed and threw that ball out there. That should have been a touchdown. The man underthrew it. Chris Olave had to wait on the ball. Cornerback caught up to him. That should have been a touchdown. That was a flash touchdown. That changed the complexion of the game. Got the crowd amped. That would have been what we needed. We needed because we got down there and kicked the field goal. You know, we got to do it better. All right. Anyway. All right. He said attack a sack. No, you don't attack the sack. He ain't gonna get sacked if he attack the blitz. Because they're going to blitz you. You can't stop them from blitzing you. You can slow their blitzers down, but you make the blitzers play. You make them pay. Yeah, James says, what'd you say, James? Says, we're moving the ball well, just got to. They're not moving the ball that well, bro. I mean, you know, they're not. I guess in certain drives they are, where they get here and they just get stalled. Is it a mental thing? We got to hit in the red zone. What is it about the red zone, though? That's jamming the Saints up. Please explain, y'all. What in y'all, before I get ready to get on out of here, I'm gonna show y'all this poll from the Who Dat Nation, man. This will be the poll that let me see how many people voted on the who will win. What's wrong? What is the red zone breakdown mentally, psychologically about the Saints? What is it about the red zone that makes the Saints fall apart? What is it about the red zone? Please explain. I'm asking y'all a question. Throw it in the chat. Uncle Duke, shout out to you, brother. Says Q, do we think Veli can be it? No, he ain't no number one. I don't think Veli's a number one. Not at all. They see Veli like I think Sean Payton was moving around. They had him mostly in the slot area. He caught the contested passes because he a big guy that can take the hit inside, running the slot, that type of stuff. But I don't think they see him as a number one. The Saints gave up moves to get a big-bodied guy that can run, but we're not taking advantage of that speed. Or even in the red zone, we got a 6'8" tight end. You drafted him. I think they need to start grooming this tight end. I think they really need to start grooming the tight end, bro. You got a 6'8" tight end and a 6'5" wide receiver. I don't understand how he's still struggling in the red zone. What is it about the red zone that y'all think the Saints are having issues with? Uncle Deuce says we're not. I agree with that. Ronnie says no dogs. Tim says, like you said, Q, East-West pass game ends in the red zone. Okay, thank you, Tim. James says we don't have a good contested catch threat or one that shows he can be counted on. That's a good one, James. That's a good one, bro. All right, Ronnie says not a number one, but he should get more targets. Indeed, I agree. But the thing is, they're not treating him as such. He's still very much, isn't it? The top three is like Brandon Cooks going out there with Rashid and Chris Olave. Why? The one wide receiver you have that's tall and you don't bring him out there with the speed demon, and he's a speed demon too. It's just stupid offensive. That's why I would say this is just dumb usage of talent. It's bad decision making with the talent. Anyway, here's one right here for y'all, fam. This is the poll that how many people have voted? Over almost 500 people have voted on this poll right here. All right, family, it's time to make the call. Who wins this Sunday? And over almost 500 people did the poll. Shout out to the family members that did that. If you want to get your vote in, because I will revisit this poll Sunday morning prior to the game, go to the Sports Coma community section or the post section, and you can vote there too and get your vote in. And I will read out this vote poll before the Sunday matchup against the Bears. And like I said, almost 500 people voted. 74% of the family members says the Saints will beat the Bears. 26 says no, right? And they also had some comments. You know, the comments are always fun. All right, here's a few of the comments that I read too. One team had some lucky wins. The other one had some unlucky losses. I always pick the Saints, even though our defense is going to make Gallup look like Joe Montana. All right. Michael Voss says 0-20 Bears, most likely. Billy says Saints will always find a way to lose. Paper bag time. Okay. A very positive gentleman there. Saints 18, Bears 3 say, AKA the scientist. All right. Shout out to you, bro. All right. Haitian Black says, I'm sorry. I'm always rooting for my team, but I think I know enough ball to recognize a real team. And this Saints team doesn't have what it takes to be sure to bet on. So I will say the Bears win for one reason or another. Wow, he kind of dragged that one out, but you can see he was kind of hurt about that. Bayou Bull Francis says, run, Saints, run. And please have the proper cleats. And this is a great point. Shout out to you, Bayou Boy Francis. He says, run, Saints, run, and please have the proper cleats. Too much poor footing and slipping lately. Great point. Great point. Great point. With the bad weather in Chi-Town, right? The bad weather in Chi-Town, this is a great comment. And of course, James Reynolds says Saints are going to be killed. I love the Saints. We need a good quarterback. All right, and some people have several replies. Yeah, what's wrong with the Saints? Psych, that's you saying, is all people, and I guess the people just saying the quarterback is not totally the issue with the team. So anyway, 74. Shout out to my commenters there, man. Much love to you. If you want to get your name in or your poll in, man, I will read some more of these comments before the game, man, on Sunday morning in our pregame. So look, shout out to you guys for being in the stream. Listen, I think I got all your comments as well. All right. Steel Bill says too many gimmicky plays. All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Yes. Jack says I'm 5 for 1 on the. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. But you're going to vote your heart, man. You know, I'm going to pick the Saints. I didn't pick a winner in the preview, but I will pick it. I will say the Saints. I say the Saints win this game. I will give it to the Saints. I think the Saints will beat the Bears. I think they'll go up there and beat them. I don't think they'll blow them out, but I think the Saints will win this game. I think they will put it together for at least this game and get a win against the Bears. Of course, you know, Tampa Bay is coming up after that, but I really do think the Saints will beat the Bears. I will give them the win. I don't think it's a blowout, but I think it'll be one of those close games where I wouldn't be surprised the Saints kick a field goal or two to win the game, or they win by 3 or 6 points. You know, with the rain and all that kind of stuff going on, we'll see if the Saints still attack downfield or they just muddle up the middle. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, that's right, Duke said. I agree. A lot of slipping going on. Will the Saints, but you wear the proper cleats, it should cut that down, right? Like the brother mentioned on the comment. Yeah, you know, whether or not, we still got to take shots at the Bears downfield, open things up. So we'll see what the game plan is. We just hope it's more of an intelligent one than we've seen over these last many games. All right, so with that being said, fam, y'all do me a service. Hit the like button. Feel free to hit the like button if you're listening via X or Instagram. Give me a like. If you listen to X, retweet this for me. Give me a retweet on X, please. Shout out to you. And also big ups to the rest of the family members listening out across several different platforms as well. But listen, we'll be back Sunday morning with the call. I will be on the call Sunday morning. I was out of town last Sunday, so I will be on the call for this Sunday matchup. So you guys know how we do. Also, just to let you know, PPR will be live tonight at 8:30. We'll be doing our thing at the Pelican postgame report. So if my Pelican faithful, if you are a Pelican person, you can feel free to stop by. PPR will be talking Pels tonight. DC, Lex, and myself will be on there. We will open up the phone lines for the family members to chime in as well. Everybody is welcome on PPR including my dog Sean, who is a San Antonio Spur. All right. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to get on out of here, man, on this one. I appreciate y'all, man. Next time I see you to be on Sunday morning, y'all hit that like button, hit the share button, man. Much love to the fam. I'm going to holler at you on the next one. Peace and who dat.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who dat. I'm a who dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your chain for the championship. Fucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, money like this, and I'm a who dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a who dat. Lose or winning, I'm a who dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation. Stay in the NO, you stay in the know.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.